Dead Space is a survival horror third-person shooter released in 2008, but since it was released with stupid online activation DRM, instead of pre-ordering it, I just did what I always do for games I want with that type of DRM. Buy them a year or two later on the Christmas Steam sale for less than $10. I almost didn't even review this game because it was pretty much unplayable thanks to bugs when I first tried it out. I did a whole video about how I fixed those problems, so I'm not going to repeat it here. Just check out that video if you want to know more. I'll link it in the description box. The game takes place on a space station named the USG Ishimura that sent out a distress signal in which you and your team must check out. You play as an engineer named Isaac Clarke who doesn't talk and likes to wear a mask all the time. Isaac's wife also happens to be stationed on the Ishimura.
It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening.
When you get inside the ship, you find it to be deserted.
Yeah? Well, there's not. There's nobody here. I can't pick up any broadcasts.
Then you find out why.
Again, that's a start. What the hell?
I don't know. Something's in the room with us.
Jesus! Over fire! Over fire! Where's the power?
Giant praying mantises have taken over. Oh my god. The game is basically a third-person Doom. You walk through gray corridors, picking up audio, video, and text logs, while monsters pop out and try to scare you. There's also the occasional scene where you see someone dying. Like Doom 3, it can feel repetitive and get old fast. However, they did do something smart and added some features that kept the game fun in the long run. At least to me. There's a shop where you can buy and sell weapons, armor, ammo, and whatnot. There's also a workbench where you can upgrade your equipment, which is a huge plus for me. The combat is a little different because you don't want to just shoot at your targets. You want to aim for their weak spots, which are their limbs. Shoot off their heads, arms, legs, tails for easy kills. Don't stop until they stop moving because they are still dangerous even with some missing limbs. I also like the weapons in this game because they're all very different. You can equip up to 4 of them to the hotbar, which is good because some are better than others in certain situations like boss fights. You also get stasis, which lets you slow down stuff. I upgraded this a lot because it is much easier to shoot the limbs off of a stationary target than ones that are spazzing out and running at you. And finally there's Crysis, which is basically Half-Life 2's gravity gun. The game doesn't have a jump button, which always annoys me in games. I don't care what anyone says, every game should have jump, even if it's not needed. I want that satisfying feeling of spamming the spacebar and hopping around like an idiot. With that said, the zero gravity areas in this game are pretty neat because you can jump towards ceilings and walk on any wall. There's also areas with no oxygen where you have to use oxygen tanks to breathe. These areas scare the crap out of me sometimes because you can't hear anything and so monsters can sneak up on you easily. The game is very gory, especially when you go around stomping bodies into pieces. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Don't act like you don't do it too. It's pretty disturbing when you die. Kinda reminds me of Clive Barker's Undying death scenes where you see your guy getting decapitated and whatnot. The game felt surprisingly long to me, even though it only took like 11.5 hours for me to beat. But maybe it's just because I don't play games for hours at a time anymore. I usually play like 45 minutes and then quit. The ending was a bit disappointing to me, and what I expected to happen pretty much happened. I won't spoil it though. What's cool is after you beat the game, it lets you save and then you can restart a new game with all the stuff you had on your last save. I like this because when I was nearing the end of the game, I still wanted to upgrade more of my equipment since that was fun to me. But I couldn't since I was at the final area. But now I can finish upgrading everything in a new game. Overall, I do think it's a decent game, and if you can get it cheap and get past the bugs, I would recommend it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond